Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Bobby Mack here from the Huevos Ketchup podcast. We got Ray here, and we have a special guest with us again this evening. We got Ricky G, who's a self-proclaimed wrestling historian. Not by any means, though.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No. Rick has watched wrestling since he can remember growing up. Tell us real quick, just a little bit, like when did you, or what can you remember about when you first started watching wrestling? Like WWF wrestling.
What I remember, I remember all the way back to like all the WrestleManias. Like my dad's got me started watching them, and then I just started watching them ever since then. And I still watch them to this day because of my boys. My boys watch them, so I still watch them.
Yeah, I can remember me watching WrestleMania. I think the first one I watched was WrestleMania 2. I think that was the first one I watched, and then of course, obviously later on in life, then I started to watch WrestleMania 1, and then just kind of going from there. But definitely. And then Ray, when did you start watching wrestling?
No, honestly, I can't remember when I first started. I want to say it was probably, I think we were talking about this on the way over here. It was probably around 1990. I was like 3 or 4 years old, around there. I just remember getting the magazines, the Wrestling Buddies. You remember those, right?
The Wrestling Buddies. The Ultimate Warrior, they used to go like this.
Don't they have those like...
They have them now, but they're like 2/3 the size.
Yeah, they're all tiny now.
Yeah.
But if you go find one, like an authentic one, those things are worth a lot of money. People will sell that shit for like $400 or $500.
And then like, you know what's fucked up is that like, when I was a kid, because we didn't have a lot of money, like, it was fucked up. I didn't have the real Wrestling Buddies. I had, like, the little luchador ones.
The ones you get at the flea market?
Yeah, the ones you get at the flea market, but it had the fucking luchador mask on it. And it had mascarado. And
I never had a real one either. I just threw my brother around for a while. That's right.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, that's as far as that's that and the magazines. Remember the magazines?
Yes, when they made magazines.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, those were badass.
I miss... like, what was it? The Pro Wrestling magazine, the WOW magazine. Remember that one? The Women of Wrestling magazine.
There was the WWE one. There was the Pro Wrestling. Was it Pro Wrestling Illustrated?
Yes.
Like that? All the ones that were just like.
And I used to go all the time and spend like the $2 or $3 is what it cost, I think, at that time. And I would collect them. I think I still have some of them somewhere in my.
Because I remember getting those magazines and tearing like the full pages out of like the.
I don't even know what you did with those.
No.
It only lasted one session.
So when it comes to rubbing one out, I didn't start rubbing one out to wrestling magazines until it was like the Raw era, which they had like
till your area was raw.
Until my area was Raw.
Yeah, makes sense.
It still gets pretty chafed, but no, but I mean like I remember taking like the pictures of the Warrior, putting them up on the wall, and Hogan.
He used the picture of the Warrior for that.
No.
That explains a lot.
Okay, but you can't. Okay, you know what? Which actually brings me to this question. If you can have a wrestler's body, not like have it to like...
not to lay on it?
Yeah, right.
Let me rephrase that question.
Not to lay on it, but like if you could look like any wrestler, who would you want to look like? I mean, from past or present. I'm talking height, muscle build. Like I would not pick John Cena because his arms are really
well, he's
short.
6'1".
Yeah, but his arms are short.
I mean, I don't pay attention.
He has like little midget arms.
I think if he was like a good 6'5", 6'6", that would be probably a decent.
You think so?
A decent mark on that.
I don't like John Cena. Like something about him is just like it might be his height. He just looks awkward.
I just think that like is he trying to be black?
He originally was trying to be black.
Originally, and then that's what
that was his whole gimmick when he first started.
The Thugonomics.
He was a white rapper or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
And then like.
Well, do you want to know the body or no?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Who would you pick?
Bobby Stray's off. I got to kind of bring him back.
Yeah,
if I had to pick one, believe it or not, I would probably pick someone like Kevin Nash in his prime because he was tall.
Dude.
He wasn't too big in the arms. He's still cut. You know what I mean?
I would say, yeah, he still looks.
He's still pretty
in shape.
But in his prime, before he went to WCW,
So you're talking about like Kevin Nash?
Like when he was Diesel, yes.
When he was Diesel.
When he was Diesel, he
Super
was
Shredder.
There you go. Yeah.
Super Shredder.
7 foot tall. He was pretty cut. Yeah, I'd probably say something like that. Yeah. Like Lex Luger, he was too fake.
You think so?
He was too big. I always thought he looked too fake.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the whole Warrior thing, but I think that's just too much. Don't start.
No, I'm just saying because that's who I would like want to look like.
The Warrior?
Without putting out any effort. Like if I didn't have to work out, I mean, I don't work out now, but I'm just saying, but if I can just look like that, that'd be fucking awesome.
What I didn't like about the Warrior is that he was too veiny sometimes.
Well, yeah, because he did steroids. Now, which Warrior are we talking about? The original Warrior?
That's a conversation for a whole nother.
Okay, no, because he tried to pull this shit in the car. No, I told him we had to wait. But do you believe that there's two?
I don't.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
no. There was 2 Warriors, and for all the people listening, if you go and you Google the original Ultimate Warrior, look how for the first 3 matches, it was a very different person, and then when he came back, like a couple of months later, it was a very. Very
it's been in documentaries that Vince even asked him, "What's a Dingo Warrior?" when he signed him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Go look
I don't believe in that.
You think there's 2 Ultimate Warriors? Go look at when the Ultimate Warrior was a tag team with Sting. Same person.
I think that's full of shit. So now let's go and get to we're going to talk for a few minutes about our top 5s, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to start out with talking about my all-time. This is all-time top 5 wrestlers. Okay, my top 5 all-time wrestlers, starting from number 5, is I'm going to go with Andre the Giant as my number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 3, I'm going to go with Hulk Hogan. Number 2, I'm going with The Dead Man, The Undertaker. And I'm going to go with number 1 all-time favorite wrestler is the Ultimate Warrior. Now, let me preface this.
He's number 1?
Huh?
He's number 1?
Yeah, for me he's number 1. But I do want to have an honorable mention on there, Dino Bravo. I do. I don't fucking laugh. Fuck you, because when I was a kid, he was one of the first wrestlers I saw, and I was like, dude, that dude's fucking, because he talked mad shit, and he was fucking jacked.
I know, I had to Google it. I was like,
I remember who he was, but
I'm just saying honorable mention. I didn't say.
That's all you.
you could have just mentioned him. You didn't have to be honorable.
Always an honorable mention. Anyway, fuck you, Ray. Go ahead. Who's your top 5?
No, I'll let Rick go.
Okay, go ahead, Rick. What do you got? Top 5.
You do know Dino Bravo got killed because he did something wrong, right?
I'm not talking about his personal life. I'm just saying that as a wrestler, that was his honorable mention. Man, fuck both of y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine started with number 5, Randy Savage, Macho Man. Number 4, I put Hogan at number 4. I'll justify that in a little while, in a minute. Number 3, Undertaker, Dead Man. Got to put him there.
Oh, shit, I didn't even think about him.
Number 2, Ric Flair. 16-time.
Woo!
Still holds the record for most championships.
Yeah, but you know what?
Dude, I'm not
nowadays, they give the championships away over and over and over.
Which is even more.
I know. I'll give you that.
16 time. Woo!
You see, this is the shit I gotta edit out.
Sorry. And number one, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay,
Reason for that.
Okay,
for that. I got to give you a reason though.
So hold on. So you and I have not in the order, but we have Taker, Hogan, and Stone Cold in our top 5. I think that's definitely.
Who was it again? Sorry.
Taker, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold.
I was shouting to have them 3 in there.
God, how do you not have those 3 in there?
Let me give you my honorable mention.
Honorable
Since you got an honorable mention.
Yeah, exactly. Honorable mention.
I'll give you my honorable mention. My honorable mention was Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yes.
Rest in peace.
Are you a WCW fan also?
I used to watch both.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand WCW.
What, dude?
The production value was so low, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for WCW, you wouldn't have the Monday Night Wars, and therefore you wouldn't have.
I'll give you that. But I just couldn't get into it.
Attitude Era, you wouldn't have none of that.
Yeah,
which is the reason why.
Very historically accurate. Thank you, Mr. G. Go all right. Go ahead.
Okay, and I already know this one. Well, both of y'all are gonna talk shit on this one. Number 1 all time, Triple H. For me.
Fuck you. Dude.
For me.
Dude,
The only reason Triple H is as successful as he is because he banged the boss's daughter and got
very
credit.
true. Very true.
And by then, he should have credit for doing something like that.
Do you remember when Stephanie, before she had implants? I don't. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so Triple H, number 1, and I can I'm not going to justify it, but I'll explain that later on. Number 2, Brock Lesnar.
You must be crazy.
Brock Lesnar. Number 3, Ken Shamrock. I've always been a fan of Ken Shamrock.
Are you talking wrestlers or are you talking UFC?
No, Ken Shamrock was in.
You got Brock Lesnar, and you got fucking Ken Shamrock.
Hold on.
You got fucking Joe Rogan on there. Yeah.
4, Warrior.
Okay, Warrior's on there. He's on mine.
Number 5, Andre the Giant.
Yes, he's my number 5.
Honorable mention, The Miz. Back before all this right now. I'm talking Miz.
Who's
like
The Miz?
2009 to 2000, maybe 12 for me.
Honestly, I like the Miz now before he was then.
No, I like them the
That's
other
just
way.
me.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Fuck that list. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the top 5 tag team. Tag me in! So we're going to go with my top 5. I'm going to go from number 5. I'm not going to start with number 1 like somebody over here. But my number 5, I'm going to start with the Badass Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg for number 5. Number 4, we're going with the Rockers, baby, number 4. And coming in at number 3 on my top 5.
I don't even think that was the intro music, but
It wasn't the you know what? That was kind of a Super Mario, right?
I don't know what that was. Sure, so was
yeah,
I fucked that up, Dad. So anyway, number 3 on my tag team, the Bushwhackers, is one of my top 5. Number coming in.
Rick, you're nodding this? Really?
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
The Bushwhackers?
Yes, the Bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers never won a damn match in their lives, but the fact that they went out there and cracked everybody up was fucking hilarious.
Dude, Bushwhacker. How do you not like the Bushwhackers? Anyway, number 2, and a strong number 2, which I think they were severely underrated, was Demolition. I thought Demolition was very underrated.
You would pick them. Okay.
You would pick them. And then number 1. What a rush. We're going with the Legion of Doom as my number 1 tag team. Okay, hold on. Real quick. I do want to bring this up because I think you and I have had this conversation before too. Rick, I don't know if you can back me up on this. Didn't Animal, not Hawk, but Animal, did he, and I vaguely remember this, did he not get into some legal problems back in the day with didn't he drown a little kid or something? Or
I think you told me something like that. I just never looked into it.
Like a baby or something?
Or Hawk?
I thought it was Animal.
I think it's Animal. Animal's the ball. No, it's Hawk.
It's Hawk.
It's Hawk.
Okay.
Animal was the Mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Hawk. Hawk was the one that always had issues. He was the one that was he was the drunk and.
Oh, okay.
So it's very possible it was.
And you know what? I vaguely remember it, but I don't
Remember when he fell off the Titantron or whatever one draws and everything? That was pretty crazy.
Cool. That's pretty
May
funny.
he rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. All right, so let's go with Rick. What are your top 5 tags?
Okay, top 5. Number 5. I had Demolition in my top 5 too, so I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, exactly.
I had them in my top 5.
Demolition?
But the original 2.
Yes, okay.
Axe and
I'm thinking
Smash.
3.
Axe and Smash, not Axe, Smash, and Crush.
Crush, whatever the hell his name was. No. Number 4, the Hardy Boys. Crazy motherfuckers. Okay, so I give them number 4. Number 3, I had the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and the Anvil.
damn.
The original Hart Foundation, not the new people, not the one with all crazy,
Yeah.
anti-American, all Canada shit, all that. Number 2, I had Legion of Doom at number 2.
You had them, then what happened?
I have them at number 2.
Oh, you had them. Okay,
They're
you
at
had
number
them.
2. My number 1, you can't dispute number 1. I don't care who you are. Number 1, the Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys held every title
Okay.
and every.
That's number 1?
My Dudley Boys are my number 1.
So okay. I'm actually gonna go to you. I'm actually gonna ask your opinion on this, Ray. Dudley Boys versus in their prime. I'm talking about in their prime versus Badass Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg. Who's taking that?
What kind of match?
False count anywhere.
Oh, I think it'd be
See?
No, well, the Outlaws only, as far as I can remember, they did a few handful of the hardcore style. Remember with Mick Foley and Terry Funk, but I don't think I never saw them actually go through the stuff. It was always the other people. So I think I would have to give it to the Dudleys.
You know who I didn't put in my top 5 individual wrestlers?
Who's that?
Mick Foley.
I'm ashamed.
I know.
I'm
I
ashamed.
know.
I'm ashamed. That was not there.
Well, none of us did it.
Well, no, but he's
But this one over here.
Yeah, but he's always been one of my favorite, hands down. I don't know why I didn't fucking him. You know what? If I would have put, but he would fall in. He would probably fall in between Stone Cold. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. He would fall in between Hulk Hogan and Undertaker. So if I had Mick Foley instead of Hulk Hogan, then it would go Andre, Stone Cold, Mick Foley, Undertaker, and Warrior. That's what I would. I think that's my. You know what? I'm gonna do that. That's my official top 5. Mick.
Yeah, because it matters.
Foley. It does matter. Fuck you. Okay, so give me your top 5 tag team. You remember this fucking gem. Here you go.
Number 1 for me, because I got the most out of watching them, would be DX, the original Shawn Michaels Triple H, when it was Raw 96, 97. For me.
But I question that. Were they really a tag team?
They really weren't.
Well, they're a duo, so I mean they weren't tag team champions, but they would often be tag teams because they would anyway my list.
Yep. I'll give it
2, the New Age Outlaws. I was actually debating on putting them as number 1.
Okay.
Rockers, of course, as you had. That's my number 3.
Outlaws.
Number 4, just because I liked the storyline that they would do for the back scenes. The APA, the Alkaline Protection Agency.
Oh shit! I remember
Bradshaw and
the
Farouk.
clothesline from hell. Jesus Christ!
What do you say? Damn.
Damn. And then just so I didn't pick all WWE, I went ECW because this guy was the main guy I would watch other than Rob Van Dam, but Lance Storm and Justin Incredible.
Okay, that one I will.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Yeah, we'll give you that one. That was a good one.
See, here's my thing for. I know both y'all had the Outlaws. Here's my reason for not putting the Outlaws. They were only a tag team for like 2 years, and then they split and they went off and did their own thing. So I didn't see them being in the top 5. Like all the ones I had.
Like they show historical value to you?
I'm not knocking on you guys.
No.
Y'all list. All mine is like these guys were primarily tag teams. So like I left off Edge and Christian. Why? Because Edge went to go be champion or whatever the hell he was. I left them off.
And then
I left the Outlaws off because they both went off and did their own thing. The only reason I made the exception for the Hart Foundation was because Bret Hart was majority a tag team wrestler before he split. So that was my reason.
You know what? But no, you're right. So he's looking at it more of like almost like a historical, like they last.
How much yeah.
So, but my honorable mention would be the Mega Powers.
Oh, Macho and
Hogan.
The whole 2 matches they existed together.
I don't give a fuck.
Before Elizabeth.
I know before Elizabeth came around, fucked it all up. No, they were badass. All right.
You know what my honorable mention would have been?
Who was that?
The Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Ooh.
That's
Granted, they weren't together that long, but the fact that when they did come together was like the biggest when they created the NWO and everything. So
that was badass.
Can any of y'all think of a WCW tag team? Because I was trying to think. I was like, I can't think of any good WCW tag. Shit, that's right.
The Heartbeat, yeah.
Not Heartbeat, Harlem Heat.
Oh, they said the Heartbeat. I fucking agree to this. No.
Yeah.
He's like, man, they were badass.
That's why we have you on the show, because I don't know shit, okay? All I know is that what I experienced when I was young.
I was just nods and agrees. Yeah.
Harlem Heat was when you were younger.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is that...
What did he say again? The Heartbeat?
The Heartbeat!
Okay, so let me ask you, who are you talking about when we said the Heartbeat?
So when you said the Heartbeat, I was thinking about Jimmy Hart. Hold on.
The Anvil? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking about the Anvil and... what's his... I can't think of the other guy's name right now. But that's who I was thinking about.
The Heartbeat?
The Heartbeat? No, Harlem Heat. What? Ice Water? No, Fly Ice Water. God damn it. What the fuck? All right. So let's go on to... we're going to move on from that shit. All right, let's go on to top 5 matches of all time. This is where things get a little sticky, icky. So for me, my top 5, starting with number 5, is I'm going to have to go with old school ECW with RVD versus Jerry Lynn. And they had several matches, and I'm going to include all of them in there, in that top 5, because those were, without a doubt, one of the most athletic, entertaining matches ever.
I'll give you that.
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you and tell you that was my number 5, too. RVD, Jerry Lynn. But more importantly, mine was Heat Wave 99, because that was the one they just went off on each other.
That's good stuff.
Go ahead, sorry.
That's right. Rest in peace, the Heartbeat. So we're going on to number 4. My number 4 match, and I'm going to go with Japanese Death Match. I'm going with Kakatusa Jack, Cactus Jack, and Terry Funk. That's what I'm going. And that's the one where Cactus Jack beat Terry Funk. When he it was the barbed wire C4 match. Yeah, that one was the shit. My number 3 is going to be, I'm going back ECW again, and it was Sabu against Tommy Dreamer. Ooh. That one was a badass.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I saw that one.
No, that was a badass match. That's the one where he fell through all those fucking tables.
Threw him off all the
where they're hanging like up. Never mind. I did.
That was a badass match. Number 2 for me is, I know it may not be as obviously as hardcore as number 5, 4, and 3, but number 2 that I just can't ever forget is during WrestleMania when it was Stone Cold versus The Undertaker. The first one. The first one, yeah. That one was, to me, one of the most...
Which one?
It was the first time they fought each other in WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania... that was around 90s...
17 or 18?
It might have been 17 or 18.
Somewhere around there. It was when the Undertaker was the demonic Undertaker.
Yeah.
He had the...
that little goatee.
Just the goatee, yeah. He was all like...
That one was a badass match. And then Number one, I'm going to go classic just because, again, this was the one that I saw and it's always stuck. And this is what made me love wrestling was Hogan versus Andre. That was just, again, I'm just going classic because I saw that.
I have that one.
When I was a kid. All right, go ahead, Rick. What do you got? Number 5, we both agree. RVD and Jerry Lynn.
Yes, number 5. Number 4, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, ladder match, WrestleMania. One of the greatest matches I've seen. One of the greatest ladder matches I've seen because both of those guys just went all out and left it all out there. And for the time that they had the ladder match, just so much innovative stuff during that match. Number 3, this was going back a little old school. Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. WrestleMania 3.
Shit.
Those guys just...
No, that was good,
I've seen that in a lot of people's blogs.
Watch what you say about
I'm gonna piss you off right now. I can't get into that match.
Holy
I cannot. I've watched it because I know it's a big deal.
Give me a chair. Give me a chair.
You can do it. You can
What you
do
have to
3D right
realize
now.
about WrestleMania 3.
I know for the time.
For that time, nobody was ever jumping off ropes like they were. They weren't doing this kind of shit.
This goes back to that prior thing that we were talking about, right?
Yeah, just
Richard Pryor's comedy.
So when we had Frankie Danger on the last podcast, because we were talking about like our top comedians, right? And so the thing is that like Ray cannot get with Richard Pryor as a comedian. He says he's not funny, all that stuff. Well,
His stand-ups,
yeah, his stand-up. But if you look at if you throw Richard Pryor in today's stand-up, right? He's not going to really hold up. He's not, okay? But for the time, if you look at the time Richard Pryor was doing his shit, fucking hilarious. He was fucking hilarious. But again, if you take those jokes and you put them today, it's like...
People will get offended instead of laugh.
And you know what? Not even so much offended. I mean, yeah, they would. I mean, obviously they would. But I think that people would not find... They would find it offensive and not funny. But again, for people that grew up watching it during that time, you're like, holy shit. Like, because like I remember like one of his jokes was... what did he say about like going to the zoo or something like that, and seeing a lion, and he's like grabbing his crotch, he's like, hey motherfucker, like it's not funny by today's standards at all, but back then it was like fucking hilarious. But anyway, so yeah, and then where do we leave off?
So that was number 3.
Number 3.
Number 2, another old school one. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6.
Oh shit!
No,
First title.
that was a good one.
That was a good one because right when you thought Hogan was gonna win, Warrior just kicks out, ends the match like nothing. Number 1 all-time favorite match. Tables, ladders, and chairs 1. Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys.
SummerSlam?
WrestleMania.
That was it was WrestleMania.
First ever tables, ladders, and chairs match.
No. WrestleMania 2000 was actually just a ladder match, but they brought it all out.
No, but it was the next year that they did TLC. The next WrestleMania, the next year they did the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match took place at WrestleMania,
Oh, okay.
and it was those 3: Dudley's, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys.
Because I have a similar thing, but I'll go into it.
Christian and the Heartbeat. That was the ones I wrote.
Heartbeat.
The Heartbeat.
How many times did they win the championship again?
They won it 16 times. Shit, all right. So then, who do you got? Top 5 matches.
Okay. Well, for me, it was the WrestleMania 2000. I don't know if y'all remember at that time. If you bought the pay-per-view, you got like that 12-hour of pay-per-view history and all that. And I remember seeing the Hardys, Edge and Christian, Dudley's. It was just a ladder match. Then that's my first one. I'm not going to do this in order because it's just too hard. It's just what I have on here. SummerSlam, I think it was later that year or the following year. It was a TLC between them. I don't know if it was the first or the second one at SummerSlam or whatever it may be. But WrestleMania 3, Andre Hogan. The Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. I actually like that one because that one can keep me entertained for the whole hour plus until the...
But you can't watch Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat.
Nope. You're about 6 or what? 8 years too soon for me.
Okay, so then if them winning the title too much bothers you, does it honestly bother you that like Undertaker went undefeated for how many was it like?
No, I wish that would still stick to this day. The WrestleMania.
I have a different opinion about that. We can talk about it a little.
Okay.
Okay, the last one again in no order. King of the Ring. I can't remember what year it was. Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle. Yeah, breaking your ring.
That's actually my honorable mention. I'm not gonna lie. That was
My honorable one would be one that he said, or was it you? What did you say again? What yours?
Which one?
The top 5 match. No, the Warrior and Hogan.
Yes.
That'll be my honorable mention.
That was a good one. I would say that would probably be my honorable mention as well. All right, so then we're going to move on to, you know what, let's do top 5 finishers, and then we're going to move on to the top 5 moments, and then top 5 dream matches. So top 5 finishers. Mine, in order from number 5, the Mandible Claw / Socko. That's one of my number one.
Fuck?
That's one I fucking like that one. Fuck you, okay?
But you, I guess.
Number 4. Then number 4 is I'm gonna go with the choke slam. There is something badass about a choke, because you know what? Let's face it. Anytime you talk shit, Rick, you can verify. You can back me up on this. How many times have you thought in your mind, I want to choke slam this?
Yeah,
I'm gonna choke slam this motherfucker. Dude, it's like. It's so bad that even my dad says it. Okay, it's so bad that even my dad. And then so if you know my dad, he's not racist, but he says things that involve race a lot. So like I remember this one Eastern Asian person. I don't know what the PC term is. Sorry, but this Asian individual cut him off in traffic, and my dad said he was going to choke slam him and stick an American flag in his ass. That's what he said. I love that.
Your dad saying that.
Yes, exactly. And then I'm going to go with my number 3 is going to be the Macho Man Elbow. That's a badass finisher. Like, it's just, and like what I think is cool about it is like, because the person's out on the mat and it's like that anticipation when he's getting up on the rope. Everyone's like, oh shit.
When the guy has to lay there for a minute.
And they're like, oh shit. And then he flies off, and then you think, is the guy going to move or is he going to catch it? So I don't know. To me, that's always one of the most, it's badass. Number 2, just because it's a classic, and I can't help but being classic, the Hogan leg drop. That's just, it's nothing fancy. It really isn't. But I like the Hogan leg drop.
I don't like any of his list, but okay.
Anyway, my number 1 finishing move that I love to death is going to be the Stunner, the Stone Cold Stunner.
Okay.
That was it's just a badass fucking move. But my honorable mention, nobody will know this move. Nobody will ever know this fucking move. Rick's seen it. I've seen it live in person at the Texas Wrestling Alliance back in the day when we used to go to Woodlawn Gym to go watch fucking Shawn Michaels.
I always wanted to go to that.
Dude, those were some badass shows.
You know about that reverse cradle looking pile driver thing, whatever the hell it's called?
So it was, the wrestler's name was Pinky. Shout outs to Pinky if you're still alive. Okay? I don't know if he's fucking alive.
Pinky, like Pinky Finger or Pinky?
Yeah, he was this little white guy that wore pink pants. Not pink tights, but they were like, almost like Jinkos, kind of. Remember, do you remember Jinkos? Okay. So he wore like that, and then it was in a cage match, as a matter of fact. It was in a cage match. He got the other guy, he somehow hooked him in his arms behind his back, flipped him upside down, so the guy's legs are vertical. He's holding him behind his back with his arms locked, and then he jumps off because he was on the rope. He was on the top rope. He jumped off the top rope, spun, did a 360, and fucking slammed the dude with his neck on the mat.
Did they both get up? Like, were they fine after them?
Well, they got up.
Yeah, they got up. They were okay, but we were like, what the fuck? I've never seen that. So Rick and I dubbed that move the behind the back, no look, upside down spinning pile driver. That's what we called it. That's my honorable mention.
I'm sure there's a name for it.
There has to be. Yeah. If you know the name, please email us at the HnK-Podcast@gmail.com. Again, that's HnK podcast at gmail. Sorry, I fucked it up.
He tries to emphasize it.
I fucked it up. H, the letter N, the letter K, podcast at gmail.com.
Anyway, so what else are we going with?
All right, so go ahead, Rick. What are your top 5 finishers?
Top 5. Number 5, this one will make you very happy. You have 5. I don't know, there's something about that finisher.
That's my number 2.
When he first pulled that out of nowhere, remember when he first did it? You were like, what the fuck is that? And then he just, when he does it to he did it to the Big Show one time, like, how the fuck does he do that? Anyway.
I think just getting the Big Show up on your shoulders is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Number 4, I had the Jackhammer Goldberg, just because it was one of those. Also, you get somebody big up there like that and just slam their ass down.
Do you remember when he jackhammered the Big Show?
Yeah.
That looked so fucking crazy. It was like he was holding up this fucking pillar and then just.
Yeah, like, and he was holding him up there too, so it's not like it was a when he held his ass.
It was like 3 seconds.
Let me see you hold a 500-pound man for 1 second.
Big Show wasn't even that big.
For 3 seconds.
Big Show wasn't that big at that point.
But still, he's still
like 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why don't you pick me up and hold me upside down? Go ahead. Sorry. So what number?
Number 3, Stone Cold Stunner.
Yes.
You gotta love it. He busted out of nowhere. Number 2 was Rob Van Dam's 5-star frog splash.
5-star frog splash.
Why? Because when he landed on somebody, it should look like it hurt. Mm-hmm. He even looked like he hurt himself.
I think he did.
Number 1 all time. You guys were specific, so I picked the tag team for my number 1. Doomsday Device.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Isn't that the shoulder?
You put him on the shoulder, the guy closed on. It's very basic. I don't care. Rick.
Just for the time, it was.
You're pissing me off with all this old stuff. You're pissing me off. So,
For the time, it was spectacular.
And my honorable mention.
Ain't nobody saying that. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Honorable mention.
Oh shit! All right. Okay.
What was I Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
3D. Dudley Death Drop. That was my honorable
Good call.
mention.
Good call.
That should have
All
been
right.
the fifth
All
one.
right. So let's hear this bullshit list. Go ahead. Let's see your top 5 finishers.
Fucking rock bottom and shit in there. Some stupid.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 1, the stunner. That was we all agreed on that one. Number 2 was the F5. Number 3 was, for whatever reason, I always liked it because it could come out of nowhere. The sweet chin music. Whenever HBK would try and they could be turning around, he could be getting up real quick. It always looked good to me. Number 4, I have to give it to the pedigree. What?
Huh?
I have to give it to the pedigree. And the 5th one, I couldn't think of one. And since Billy Gunn is one of my favorite wrestlers also, and I didn't put him on my list, I just gave it to him for the finisher. Famouser, whatever you wanted to call it.
Right. Let's call it. Well, I mean,
It was famous.
yeah, it was a famouser.
Well, they spaced it out, so.
I think it's your Mexican accent that's missing it.
Fame asshole.
Any honorable mentions on that or no?
Sure as hell ain't the one Rick picked for number 5. Let me see what Rick's got.
F5 was F5.
Yeah.
Oh, then what was your number 1?
The Doomsday
Oh,
Device.
hell no. No, I don't have an honorable mention one. I'm
Good.
good.
All right. Sorry.
Doomsday
So
Device's ass a little bit.
this one we can spend the entire fucking day on, but we're gonna go with the top 5 moments. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. We'll say that one for last. Let's go with top 5 dream matches. Top 5 dream matches. So my number 5, and you cannot dispute me on number 5. If you know anything about wrestling or if you like wrestling, you're going to agree with me on all these, so fuck you. Number 5, the Sandman from ECW versus Cactus Jack. That would be my number 5.
They never win at it?
No, but again, I'm talking like Cactus Jack and his like Japanese
ECW, yeah.
from ECW, like in their prime. Number 4, and now again, I'm talking about in their prime. I think everybody that watched Raw and WCW Nitro wanted this. No matter what.
Oh, I think I know it.
Stone Cold versus Goldberg.
Oh, yeah, that's my number 1. That's what I have on my list. Yeah.
And then number 3.
Hold on real quick. And what kind of match? I just put a singles. Like,
Yeah, I would just put.
it doesn't need anything else, right?
No, I would
Those
say.
two would just be regular.
Now, who would you want to see come out and win?
Dude, I would love to
want
see Stone
Stone
Cold.
Cold.
I was gonna say Stone Cold. I'd say Stone Cold.
would have to be
Yeah.
Stone Cold, yeah.
But I
A
would,
clean match or someone comes and...
no.
No, you'd have to do it clean.
I want to do a clean match, title match.
I don't think Goldberg would ever let it go clean.
That's why they probably never wrestled.
Yeah.
Dude, but I would love to see that in a title match. God damn it, I'd love to see that. Number 3, and again, I'm talking about in their prime. I'm gonna see Andre the Giant versus Big Show.
You know, I'll probably give that as my honorable because I thought about that, but I don't know.
That'd be badass. Then I would also love to see The Undertaker versus Kevin Nash. That would be a fucking badass
Is he ever
match.
good? No, they haven't
I feel like they maybe did when he wasn't even Diesel, when he was...
Well, I mean,
then it wouldn't count then because it wasn't really.
yeah, but it wasn't like. But I'm talking about like Kevin Nash, and then like Diesel or what do they call him? Big Daddy. What is
Big Daddy Cool.
yeah, Big Daddy, whatever. Versus the Undertaker. That's my number 2, and my number 1. My number 1 is the Blue Meanie versus Midian. That's my number 1.
No comment.
Blue Meanie versus Midian.
any
Honorable mentions, yes, I do have one honorable mention, and then one honorable, and I get a lot of shit for this match, but I don't care. My honorable mention is going to be Shane McMahon. I'm talking when Shane McMahon came out and he was fucking crazy. Okay? Shane McMahon versus Sabu.
Anyway.
It's got potential.
It's got potential. Thank you.
I think Sabu would have to restrict himself with Shane.
I don't know, dude. Cause
I know Shane can do... I have Shane in one of my lists right here.
because Shane McMahon did some crazy shit. He did some crazy shit. But anyway, all right. So those are my top 5. Go ahead, Rick. What are your top 5 dream matches?
Top 5. Number 5, Bret Hart. Again, we're going in prime, right?
Prime, yeah, it's
In
all prime.
Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle in their prime.
I know. I wouldn't even thought of putting them
That was
together.
good. That was good.
In their prime.
Regular. Singles?
Regular. You know what? No, damn that. I would like to see them two in a submission match. Bret Hart, Kurt Angle. Both of those guys just they wrestle. So that would be a good.
Like
I
a
would love
submission match where they tap out, or they have to say like I quit.
So just tap out.
Tap out.
Tap out. Number 4, Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, in their prime.
That'd be nice.
That would have been a good match.
I would've
just because
watched that.
both of them are on the same build, same speed, same so that would have been.
Oh yeah, I think I'd like to watch that. That'd be pretty
That would've
bad.
I just wasn't a fan of Eddie Guerrero, so I think that's probably. But that's actually pretty
Why?
good.
Because he's Mexican or what?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Because he's brown. You got no
Brown.
match.
Eddie
They should
Guerrero
never give him that
rest in
title.
Yo, you're just mad because he beat your boy Brock Lesnar for that title.
peace. He got the title illegally.
They had. He jumped the wall again.
He jumped the wall to get it.
Number 3 was yours, Austin versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
Just like we said. Number 2. Now, number 2, this one actually intrigues me a lot. In their primes, it's another Shawn Michaels one, right? Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles in his prime.
Shawn Michaels will take it.
I didn't say who was going to
No,
take
no,
it.
no, no,
I
no,
didn't say
no,
who-
no, no. I'm
yeah.
just saying. But although as interesting and as like you said, very intriguing as that is, I would say Shawn Michaels.
Number 1, in their primes, Undertaker versus Sting. And that's what everybody's always wanted to see. Never going to happen, unfortunately.
That's on one of the lists I googled up.
I would still go with Undertaker on that. Not because he's bigger, but I think that
He would have to.
But-
I mean, it's just, but just the fact, and we're talking Sting, not Surfer Sting. We're talking about Crow Sting. versus
Yeah.
Undertaker.
yeah, but I still think Undertaker would take that.
I think it would too.
What was your favorite version of Sting? I liked the older one, the blonde hair.
No, I didn't like that Sting version. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. Like they didn't. The Crow version of Sting was almost like kind of like the Undertaker. He didn't feel a lot of pain, so it was almost kind of like, as bad as it sounds like WCW was almost trying to rip off Undertaker, but
I think they did that a lot. I think
they did it both.
I know. Well,
was-
I mean, again, I'm not saying that
Remember
WCW.
Gilbert?
Gilbert, yeah.
Okay, so one of the funniest things that happened, we were watching the Royal Rumble, and fucking Gilbert comes running
gets
in there,
tossed right out, yeah.
and he gets tossed right out, and he gets up and he goes, fucking hilarious. God damn it, dude, that shit was so funny. Oh, shit.
funny.
All right, what do you got? Your top 5 dream matches.
Number 1 is Stone Cold Goldberg, of course, singles. I would like to see Stone Cold, Hogan, and Cena all in their prime. I know.
Three-way?
In a triple threat.
I was just, okay, triple threat. Sorry, you can't say 3-way in this place.
Yeah, I would like to see all 3 of them. Just, again, I feel like it would be the passing of the torches kind of thing.
When they all come on each other.
You know something, brother?
Here you go, brother. Take some.
You can't see me.
You can't see me. Why? Because you got coming here, right?
And it's so cool. What?
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 Dude, I could not stand when he started that shit.
That didn't bother me.
Oh, it did. What?
What?
What? Okay, go ahead.
I tried to see if it actually ever happened. I never saw it happen, or I couldn't find anything. But Hogan, Macho, and Warrior, I would like to see all 3 of them go at it in the first to 2 wins. That's what I would like to see.
It never did.
I never did, right?
No.
Number 3, I kind of mixed or made a match. I don't think it ever existed, but
Well, that's what this whole thing's about.
yeah, I know. So fuck off. I'm trying to just explain myself. I want them to do like a 10-man hardcore match, Falls Count Anywhere, and whoever has the most wins after 30 minutes, like most pins. RVD, Sabu, Dreamer, New Jack, Raven, Terry Funk, Foley, Cactus Jack Wise, Jerry Lynn, Shane McMahon,
Yeah.
and just because he's one of my favorites, Hardcore Holly.
That's be good. I want to see Cactus Jack versus Dude Love versus Big Guy
In a 3-way.
in a 3-way. Oh shit, that's actually a pretty good one. I think you put some good thought into that one. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to top 5 moments, and then we're gonna move on to the music trivia. All right, here we go. So top 5 moments for me. My number 5. Now, you know what? Let me preface with saying that This is in no particular order. I'm not saying that number 1 is better than 5. This is just the top 5 that I can think in my mind because there's so many.
Can you explain also why that each one of them is going to be a real moment?
Yeah. So the first one I put down, number 5, and again, not in particular order, but Jericho's first encounter with The Rock.
The countdown.
The countdown. That shit was so fucking hilarious. I think that was one night that we were watching it, and I don't remember what it was. It on like WrestleMania or was this? It was on something. I think it was on one of the pay-per-views. I think. And Jericho, the whole countdown.
Happened on Raw.
Was it Raw? Oh, okay, fuck, I don't remember. And then he comes out, and then and then he fucking whatever, and The Rock's in the ring, and he goes, whoa, what's your name? And then Jericho goes, it's Chris. It doesn't matter what your name is, dude. I could not stop.
Is that where that started?
Yeah, I could not stop fucking laughing. The other one is just because it was a feat of physical achievement was when Lex Luger slammed Yokozuna. Okay. Like when he's again, if you go back, and matter of fact, you can watch it on YouTube. But if you go back and watch it, it looks like he kind of almost barely got him up.
It was like a half slam.
It was like a half slam, but still, how much did he weigh?
You know what? He weighed like 5, maybe almost 600 pounds. So
yeah. I mean, even at a good 550, the fact that since he wasn't, I mean, he was about 6 foot, 6'1". He wasn't very, very tall, but just all that center of gravity to pick him, even if he helped you, the fact that you had that and you fucking slammed him, that was badass.
You know what you're talking about Yokozuna? You know what kind of irritated me about Yokozuna is how he wasn't even Japanese.
No, he was Hawaiian.
He was a Samoan.
Or Samoan. What's the difference?
He was one of those. He's one of the. How do you pronounce the last name? Anoi or whatever the family is. And they made him Japanese. Like really, he's not even Japanese.
Hey, fuck, he got paid. That's all that matters.
He did.
He did get paid. Another one is the Rockers breakup. That was one of the highlight moments for me, and that was when I saw that, wrestling felt real to me. Because again, I was a kid. So when I saw that, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding. I was so pissed at Shawn Michaels. I was like, dude, when he fucking sweet chinned him through the fucking glass, and I was just like, there's just no way, dude. There's no. And then of course now that I'm older,
I grew up thinking that he sweet chinned him through the glass. What he did was he sweet chinned him and then
he threw him
through the glass.
Yeah, well,
that's what I was gonna say afterwards.
Let me correct myself. But either way, he sweet chin musiced him, and then
he heartbeated him.
Yeah, he heartbeated him. No, so yeah, that was my number 3. Mankind versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell. I know that's a match, but still, that's a moment in history. That is that was one of the most fucked up moments in history. So that was and then my number 1. My favorite, and Rick he will say yes, that sounds just like me. But the return of Cactus Jack on SmackDown. That was for me one of the best fucking moments.
What happened then? I can't remember.
Mick Foley was wearing his Mankind outfit, whatever.
He took it off for it.
Yeah, without the mask. And I can't remember exactly who it was he was gonna fight.
His boy.
Triple H, that's right. And then so he's the music starts. They're both talking shit, and then the music starts, the Cactus Jack music, and you see him take off his shirt and the tie, and you see he's wearing his Cactus Jack shirt, and I was like, motherfucker! I was just like, dude, I fucking jumped up out of my chair.
And he pile drive Triple H to the table.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The announcer table, right?
No, it was just a wooden table.
Just a wooden table.
Yeah.
That was so badass. But that was, and then of course my honorable mentions are going to be the death of Owen Hart, and then Bret Hart loses to Shawn Michaels. The whole screw job conspiracy. Well, I don't know if you want to call that a conspiracy or not, but that's definitely one of my top honorable mentions. All right, go ahead. Top 5 moments, Rick.
Top 5. Okay. Number 5. This one because it was hilarious as shit when we were watching. I don't remember when we first saw it. Is when DX was parodying the Nation of Domination.
Oh.
And they were all making fun of him, and Triple H was like the Croc was on the toilet and they were making fun of everybody. And then X-Pac keeps going, like whatever. Yeah.
He was Bismarck Henry.
There you go, Bismarck Henry. That was hilarious.
That's badass.
That was great. I had number 4, the screw job.
Screw job.
Just because I don't care what anybody says. I don't think it was scripted. I don't care what the new interview bullshit says. It was real. Number 3, when the Ultimate Warrior died. And they did, that was recent, so when they did the whole, it was kind of, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was kind of weird. Like, the week before, he shows up on Monday Night Raw all healthy and gives a speech. Like, it's almost like he knew he was
Yeah.
on his way out, and then next day he just dies.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, okay, that was crazy. Number 2 was the Mick Foley, Mankind thrown off the cage, smiling with the tooth in his nose and everything. That was just
Fuck.
shit. That's crazy. Number 1 moment for me was when WWF bought WCW and they did the merger on TV.
Yeah.
Where Shane McMahon showed up on WCW and pissed off Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And I guess that was just because of the fact that we were so into the Monday Night War, right?
Yeah.
We were like, okay, what are they going to do here? What are they going to do there? And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, they're literally merging these two companies. So.
It's fucking awesome. But dude, I can remember like sitting there flipping channels between the 2 You're like, fuck, I don't want to miss this match. What's happening here? Okay, they're just talking. Let's go back here. But yeah, fucking badass.
Now, one of those actually falls in my honorable mentions. So one of my honorable mentions is when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. Because that was a legit body slam.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Lex Luger or whatever. He legit got him a body slam.
Did you watch the Andre the Giant documentary?
The one on HBO?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Fuck, dude, you gotta watch it. When you watch that, and if that shit doesn't fucking make you cry, you have no fucking heart, dude. Like that.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I zoned you out real quick.
Fucking,
I was reading my
You're
list.
sitting there thinking about Sting and his blonde hair and shit. No. I was talking to him about the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude, that is such, like, it is so fucking crazy. You know, as a matter of fact, if you go to YouTube and you YouTube Joe Rogan talks to Jake the Snake about Andre the Giant. Jake the Snake has a couple of stories like how he drove on the Andre the Giant like 80 miles and he drank like, okay, remember some ridiculous, like 2 cases of beer and didn't even piss the whole time, right?
Well,
and then
big,
and then of course he was so big that he was talking about like in his hotel room he had to shit in the tub. He couldn't sit in the toilet and take a shit. He had to shit in the tub. Could you imagine being that fucking big? You can't even. I seen that show, My 600-Pound Life, which I'm also auditioning for.
He only's got 10 more pounds to go.
I got 10 more pounds and I'm there. No, I watched that show and these fat motherfuckers are shitting on the toilet, right? Andre the Giant could not even shit in a toilet. He was that fucking huge. He had to shit in the tub. In the fucking tub.
I believe it.
I mean, I shit in the shower, but I was drunk as shit, dude. Like, I can't even fucking.
He's all, I shit in the shower last night. I was completely sober. I just don't want to get out of shit.
Dude, I've shit in the backyard, okay? And it looked like, dude, I shit in the backyard one time, and my neighbor thought a bear fucking broke in the backyard and took a shit. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. But you got to watch that documentary. All right, go ahead. What are your top 5 moments?
Okay. Honorable mention would be when Brock Lesnar just suplexed Big Show off of the turnbuckle and the whole thing broke.
There's one more thing about Brock Lesnar out of his mouth. I swear to God.
It's not, what is it? The Legion of Doom over here. Anyway, number 5 would be, just again, at that time when I saw it, it was kind of shocking to me. When Sable took off her top and she had the black handprints.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That did
Dude,
it for
I
me
got
for a
so
while.
hard when I saw that, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Like that. But okay.
That was the pullout he got from the WWE magazine.
No, dude, seriously. But you know what though? The sad thing about Sable that I will always stick with, she had no ass.
Yeah.
She had no ass, dude. Like it was a straight plancha, dude. Like it was, dude, like if somebody fucking hit her in the ass with a book, dude. Like,
Real quick, at that time, who was your favorite diva at that time?
I think she was really the only one. There was nobody really. Trish Stratus wasn't there yet.
Okay, my bad. So from the Attitude Era leaning into the early 2000s, around there, when they were more divas, you know what I mean?
what are they called now?
They just call them women's
Women's wrestlers or
Is it
female
female
wrestlers.
yeah.
They're not called divas no more.
They went as far as retiring the Divas title, and now they have
They're
a
the women's champion. Yeah.
Oh, that's gay. All
But
right.
I would say during that time,
Because I think when Sable was on, it was like her, Jacqueline, and
if you're
like
talking about the Attitude Era, I would go with Lita.
Thank you.
he said that the other day. I was like, what?
Dude, Lita was hot.
She
dude.
was hot and she could actually wrestle.
Fuck yeah, dude. Lita was hot. Okay, now I'm gonna go with just pure, just pork, grade A pork product. I'm gonna have to go with Trish Stratus. But it's just the fact that she was, and again, it's just my opinion and Rick's opinion, so it's actually the majority of this table. So that Lita was, she was hot. She was hot. She was pretty, and she can fucking kick your ass, dude. That was badass. I mean, again, you're talking to young 16, 17-year-old men here that are just horned up over just the wind blowing on our crotch. And it's like, dude, she was badass. She was badass. And then,
He's gonna start going off on
I
everybody.
don't start going off. No, I don't care. I don't care. China's tits. No. I wanted to see them. And when I finally saw them in that Playboy thing, holy shit. I was so disappointed. Did you see her sex video? The one that she did with X-Pac?
This is your segment, dude. Just
That's
keep
fine.
going.
That's fine. But did you see her sex video that she did with X-Pac? She has one of those, what do you call it? Those giant clitorides. She's got those, it's huge.
It looks like a dead penis.
It does. It looks like a dick. Anyway, China, rest in peace. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure she's dead because if I said rest in peace.
You want to make sure.
No, I don't want to make sure. Anyway, go ahead. All right, so go ahead. So top 5 moments.
Okay, so yeah, it was so the entire thing with the invasion, from where Rick's standpoint, from them buying it and then bringing in like DDP to be the stalker of Undertaker's wife and bringing in piece by piece, and then the whole thing. Shane McMahon, when he jumped off the Hell in a Cell, it was kind of a couple years ago. The actual moment that I'm gonna pull out from the invasion is, I don't know if you remember, Rick, when they had everybody fighting, all the franchises fighting in there, and then Stone Cold comes back and he helps them right at the end, and they form Team WWE. Remember that? That's my number 2. Number 1, and I know I'm gonna get shit already for it, was when Triple H returned from his, I think it was his ACL surgery.
Dude, he was fucking jacked.
Yeah, that everything was hyped up and everything.
Dude, you see when he ran down the fucking aisle, he was like, he can barely fucking move.
But yeah, that's my favorite moment. Like, I'll still YouTube it and watch it.
Dude, he was fucking jacked. Dude, he was on, his steroids were taking steroids.
Yep.
Dude, that's how big he was. But that was fucking badass. All right. So now we got down with our top 5. Let's go and move to some music trivia. All right, here we go. So this is actually going to be between Rick and I. We're gonna battle off. We're gonna beat off. We're gonna beat off to some music. and so Ray, go ahead and play. Ray's gonna play the first clip.
Who's going first? Me? Or we just go?
I guess I'll see if you know it. If not, then
Yeah, if you know it, then I'll go for it.
All right. I guess it's let's see. This one's for Mr. Rick. Cause
Is the volume up?
I don't know. We're gonna have to check. So.
He's known as R-Truth now, but he was, what was he back in the day? K-Quick. There you go.
Fucking say that. What are you guys taking my shit?
It's the same guy.
Getting K-Quick.
Isn't that like a pancake mix?
Is it your turn now? Your turn.
Yeah, it's
All
Bobby's
right,
turn.
yeah, my turn. I'm gonna go with that's Ken Shamrock.
Rick.
That's female, isn't it? No?
No, sir.
Who was that one?
Don't y'all give up.
Yeah.
Was that
The Rocks, when he was Rocky Maivia.
Oh man, fuck that. All right.
Don't get mad at y'all.
I don't
Fuck
think
that. All
that was a
right.
Rocky
All right.
Maivia.
So okay, so it's 1-0.
Rick didn't get this one.
So, Mr. Val Venus right there.
That's fucking bad. Dude, I love that. Like, anywhere I go, I love that song to play.
That's gonna be the intro for the song for this one. For this episode.
No, baby, I love that shit.
Hey, you remember when they did when they chopped off his penis?
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh shit.
That was fucking. I wonder if his dick really was that big. What was his talent? He could hold 12 donuts without using his hand like that.
That's what he said. He was saying on TV. He had different.
Now he's a marijuana dispenser, right?
Oh, is he? I thought he was a NASCAR driver.
I thought he actually went to porn.
I'm totally. I don't know. All right, my turn. Fucking Christian, an Edge.
What's the group's name?
The Brood.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is the song you were trying to go for earlier?
I used to like that song.
Yeah.
You knew it, right, Rick?
I knew it.
Okay, so it's 2-1.
All right, this one's for Rick.
Vader.
fuck, I used to
That's your look-alike.
I know, that's my doppelganger. That's my gangbanger. My gangbanger.
All right, Bobby, you're not gonna know this one.
I'm a bad man.
Mark Henry.
You look at me like you're all badass. No, it's not it.
I'm a bad man.
Keisha. Thank you.
Fuck, are you serious?
Amongst thieves and crooks, more bad women.
Well, fuck y'all then. Okay, fine. 3-1. Shit. I'm losing bad here.
All right. Who is it again?
With his ass crack sticking out and everything.
Oh, fucking thing. Rick's gonna know this one if he knew the other one.
Oh, that's Edge. What is it? You want a brother?
You want to bro?
Let's see. Give Bobby an easy one.
You should see his face right now.
No?
Goldust. No? Fuck, who was it?
You know it, Rick?
Yes, I know.
Who is it?
This is Psycho Sid.
Yes.
Fuck, man. You know what? I was going to say Michael Myers.
He used to say he was the ruler of the world, remember?
Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck. Mine's 4-1. God damn it.
So it's Rick's turn?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, then.
The whole shit then. Fuck.
Exactly.
No. Okay, fine. He's gonna pass it to me.
He's gonna say it wrong.
Get Shamrock! Get Shamrock!
Bobby didn't get it because I said it first.
Oh, whatever. It's still my point. 3-2. No, 4-2. 4-2.
All right, Rick. This is the one I gave you, Bobby. Earlier.
Oh.
I know. Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, he got it. Do you remember his finishing move?
The Pearl River Plunge.
Thank you.
This asshole earlier, he plays it for me, right? And then he's like, guess who it is? And I'm just like, he's big and bald. And I was like, fucking Prince Albert? What the fuck? I was like, Prince Albert? What the fuck?
I said like mid-90s.
I know.
Early 90s. Prince Albert was like late 90s. Anyway, last one. Free for all.
Oh, free for all. Here we go.
I know Rick's gonna get it. Well, both of y'all should get it. Fucking easy. There you go.
Fuck, I was gonna say Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty too high.
Scotty Too Fuck.
Alright, well, that was
Alright, so I guess Rick takes the challenge. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Well, I guess that's what we got. Anyway, but it's been badass though, talking about wrestling. So, you said that you still watch it today because of the kids, right? My kid's only 14 months. He just turned 14 months yesterday, so I don't have to deal with that shit right now because I don't have any idea who's who today. If I turn on wrestling, like I turned it on the other day, and I don't know any fucking buddy, dude. I don't know anybody. I'm so out of it. Like I think the last thing I saw on wrestling was Randy Orton fought John Cena. Like I think it was for like a WrestleMania. I think, or it might have been a Royal Rumble.
That may have been like a decade ago.
It might have been a long time ago.
Dude, it's been fucking forever, dude. I can't even tell you who the fuck's who.
Did you see it recently when they brought back Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg and all that for a little segment?
Last Monday, Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg.
That's the only time I watched wrestling is when they bring back these old stars. I mean, yeah, they're old and everything, but I'd rather see them than anybody else.
It was either past or it's gonna happen. I can't remember. I gotta look it up. I ain't fucking know. But up in Ohio, they had an '80s wrestling con. Like they had like those those Comic Cons.
You told me about it,
dude. Fucking '80s. Could you fucking imagine, dude? That'd be how badass that would be to see all. When I went to Comic Con, remember when I got that Ric Flair signed for you? Uh-huh. So I went and I met Ric Flair, and the whole point of me reading Ric Flair was to get Rick a Father's Day gift. Signed by Ric Flair that says Happy Father's Day. And so
have you checked to make sure it was really Ric Flair?
It looked like Ric Flair.
Woo! No, but dude, when I met Ric Flair, and again, like Ric Flair, one of my all times, right? Well, at least, I mean, he's not on my top 5, but definitely one of my top 10s.
Maybe top 20.
My top 20.
You gotta put Mick Foley.
You gotta put Mick Foley on there. No, but he was one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. But like when I met him, dude, like he was so, I mean, he was so disengaged. Like he didn't even look at me. Like he didn't even make eye contact at all. Like he just literally took the picture I wanted. And he was like, "Oh, who do I make it out to?"
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, I said, "Could you put Happy Birthday, Rick?" Or I'm sorry, Happy Father's Day, Rick, or to Rick, Happy Father's Day, whatever I put on there, or
Whatever he put on,
whatever I had him put on there. Anyway, and he was like, "Yeah, kid, all right, here you go. All right, have a good day." And he just didn't he didn't even like say thanks for coming out or
Probably because he thinks he's too good for stuff like that.
well, he's fucking doing it. But then when I met Meatloaf, that was the shit.
Where the fuck are we going with it?
I just want to say that Meatloaf was dude, shout outs to Meatloaf, fucking badass.
If you're still alive.
If you're still alive. Oh, and then Bobby the Brain Heenan, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking.
No, Mean Gene the other
Dude,
Yeah.
when Mean Gene, yeah, but I'll tell you this much. Bobby the Brain Heenan was
Man, that
probably
dude disintegrated
yeah,
bad.
he
dude.
did.
He looked terrible. And you know what's fucked up is like, okay, I understand they're probably trying to get money. Like I get that, but I also feel like it's kind of fucked up to have them kind of parade around at these Comic Cons and just kind of like even who was it? Tim Curry, the guy.
Oh, yeah.
The one that the Rocky Horror Picture Show and all that stuff. When he was there at the Comic Con and I got to see him. When I met Tim Curry, he wasn't even fucking responsive. He was in a wheelchair, just there. Like I'm not trying to make fun of the guy, but like he was just literally just he was a fucking vegetable almost. And people are like, "Oh, let's take pictures." I'm like, that's kind of, like you see like in the movies where they have like the beaten up tigers and shit, and people are taking pictures of them and stuff. Like that's what it looked like to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased or gay or something. I don't know what my problem is. But anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know what? That's gonna wrap up this episode of the Wells and Podcast Ketchup. Did you hear the one we put out that's called Our Fuck Ups?
No.
It's just a bunch of bloopers.
Dude,
Well, it's like
yeah,
a couple bloopers.
it's like 2.5 minutes?
There's about 2 minutes of bloopers in.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just bloopers, and that's one of the things I said. Like when we were recording, I said, "Welcome everybody to the Wells and Podcast Ketchup," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then when Ray broke the chair,
hold on, we can't talk about that one right now. It's still too fresh.
It's too fresh. Jesus, dude, that was, yeah. But if you haven't listened to it, you gotta fucking listen to it. And the one with Frankie Danger was pretty fucking badass. Also, shout outs to Scott Dunlap, who was on the show not that long ago. Today, as a matter of fact, he got into a very, very terrible car accident. He was T-boned. We don't know where. I haven't heard from him. If he's okay, I mean, I would imagine so because his wife sent my wife a picture of the accident, and I believe he's okay. But again, shout outs to Scott. If I hope you're okay, and I hope for a fast recovery. Also, next week we have coming on the podcast a San Antonio ghost hunter who's going to be here. Me and Frankie, the fucking Danger, are going to be here interviewing the ghost hunters of San Antonio. So don't forget to tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, dreams, or desires, please hit us up on the email, hnkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's hnkpodcast@gmail.com. We thank you for tuning in. Rick, thank you coming.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having me.
coming all over me. And have a nice night, everybody.
Get on your feet. Got another show to go. We're all together. All together. All together. Now. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.